This came in just as it is. As anyone waiting or expecting anything positive from Buhari this year is wasting his time. Adebabjo. Yes, I know you all know who Adebabjo is. Is Chief Ayo Pa Adebabjo, a national leader of the Pan Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, Afenifere Yoruba nation or thereabout. He speaks on his expectations in the year 2022 under President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. He also shares his thoughts on Electoral Act amendment bill and also restructuring and insecurity and other issues. Temidayo Akesi brings the excerpt. The Buhari administration has asked Nigerians to expect a new price regime of petroleum products in 2022. What is your reaction to this or thereabout? That's his question being asked Pa Adebabjo. He said, I told you back in 2015 when Nigerians voted for change that the man had no clue. He was just beating about the bush. You are wasting your time if you are waiting to get anything positive from Buhari's government. He doesn't understand the problems of Nigeria and not to talk of solutions to them. You first have to understand the problem before you decide what you're going to do to solve it. He is clueless and he doesn't listen to advice. You see, his reason for coming to office was to Islamize Nigeria and to pay back those who removed him from office. He wants to take revenge on all those who have done him evil. He is not fair to the country. All the zigzag programs of development you see him doing everywhere are about those who invited him to government. He is just trying to appear to be democratic. He is not. So I don't waste my time. What promise has he made that he has fulfilled? Nothing. So people are just wasting their time. I have told you to pray to God to send him away from the seat once his tenure finishes. Yes, the question says Nigerians are going through a hard time. During this time, due to increase in the prices of commodities, do you think Nigerians would be able to cope if the situation persists? There is no solution to Nigeria's problem until Buhari goes away and the country is restructured. That is all I know. Everything depends on the government of the day. Everything depends on the leadership. This country should be restructured before talking of any election because the final thing lies with the president. And now they have passed the electoral bill, and instead of signing that bill into law, he sits on it, and the constitution is still there that gives him the dictatorial power. He is a tyrant. That's coming from Pa Ayo Adebabjo. Well, another question says, how do you see the amendment to the electoral bill allowing direct primaries to be conducted by political parties to pick their candidates? What are the inherent opportunities? When you are asking for the opportunities, that is the pretense. We should go for direct primaries. Very okay, and yes, it is very, very expensive, and that is all. But let the people speak. Don't adopt the system that is prone to corruption. A system whereby so-called godfathers lodge voters in hotels and keep them there until they come and vote at a price. All those would go under direct primaries. The only thing they would be saying against the direct primaries is that it is expensive. Okay, expensive to whom? The government or the party? They say to those who are going to conduct the exercise, whatever price the primary is going to cost, it is worth it for democracy. Okay, another question says, what is your advice for President Buhari regarding the bill? He should sign it into law, but if he doesn't sign it, it wouldn't surprise me. A tyrant does not aid democracy's growth. Yeah, a tyrant does not aid democracy's growth. Buhari can't offer what he hasn't got. He is a dictator by birth, by training, and by everything. Every succeeding Nigerian leader appears to be even worse than the predecessor. Jonathan was seen as evil then, and today Buhari is seen as a worse evil. And Nigerians will soon have the opportunity to elect a new leader. What guarantees do the people have with that? Nothing. It is a system that is corrupt and elusive, and that produces people like Buhari. When you change the constitution to a democratic one, where there is an atmosphere of freedom, it wouldn't produce a dictator like Buhari. Well, the question goes again: what assurance are there that the country is going to have such a constitution before the next election? We are going to fight for it. I don't expect Buhari to yield to a change of a constitution easily, because that is his style. So people who expect him to change should know that you can't get freedom on a platter of gold. Freedom is fought for. That is what most people that want it have to understand. We are going to mount pressure on him, and the government must know that this should be a democratic one. If the people are determined, civil disobedience will be a forum to use to say no, you can't go anywhere. And it is because people are not prepared to make the sacrifice, and they would say if you don't want to contest election, some other people would be ready for it. Who would go there? Who would dare it if that is the decision of the people? From what you are saying, are you there going to be okay? Are there going to be election in 2023? Okay, Adebabjo says no. I am not supporting any election until we change the constitution. I am not saying people should boycott elections. I am only saying change the constitution before election if you don't mean any evil. Any lover of the country who loves democracy will love good governance, and also should produce the people's constitution, not run a constitution that was imposed on us by the military. I have said this many times, but they still want to continue with it. How are you planning to achieve this objective? I am mobilizing as I am talking, convincing people to put pressure on President Muhammadu Buhari to change the constitution. If not, they should not take part in any election until the constitution is changed. If people say they are not going to take part in election, how can they vote? But some people would say if others are not participating in election, they would do so. Let us see how there can be justice. The people deserve the government they get. My stand is clear. I told them in 2015, I told them in 2019 also, and what is the result? Nothing. What have I said against Buhari in 2015 that is not correct? What did I even say against him in 2019 that is not also correct? People are just wasting their time. The man is clueless. He is a tyrant, a tribal jingoist, a religious fanatic, and a political bigot. In view of this, he has done nothing. Now, people are clamoring for self-government, self-determination, and you say they are terrorists. Those who are killing, kidnapping, raping, you are negotiating with them, paying ransom. What type of person is that? Okay, would you say the government is succeeding in addressing the security situation in the country? Has kidnapping or raping or bombing stopped? The governor of Niger State is shouting that some local government areas have been taken over. We have not read any report that he has reclaimed those areas. And this government, you should mind their claims that they are ensuring security in the country. That is why people say this government is a liar. People died in Lekki, but they said nobody died. And when evidence was produced, they said they didn't accept what kind of government is that. Something that took place and the whole world watched on internet. The government denied it, and that government is still talking. I have challenged the government openly to say that you can do negotiation with bandits and rogues. I am shouting for restructuring, but you have not called me to say let's dialogue and agree. What has Nnamdi Kanu done that is evil? He said they were marginalizing him and just threatening his tribe as a second-rate, or treating his tribe as a second-rate race. He said he was leaving, and you did not call him to ask him why he was leaving. You just called him a terrorist. Those who are raping, killing, you did not call those ones terrorists. You went to Makodi, and the governor said, Mr. President, we know those who are killing my people. What did he say? He said, go and make peace with your neighbors. he was negotiating with bandits and rapists. He is accommodating a Gumi, who is a negotiator between the bandits and the government. Today, is there any state that bandits have not attacked? And the federal government would say they are improving on security. They are killing top military officers in Borno. This is something that is clear to everybody, everyone. Yes, that is the word coming from Pa Ayo Adebabjo. Yes, this is just the part one. There's going to be part two as it is, because time will not permit us to run further. Thanks for listening, and God bless you.